Strasbourg, July 1518. In the sweltering heat of a medieval summer, beneath the looming spires of the Holy Roman Empire, a woman stepped into the street and began to dance. Her name was Frau Trophäa. She did not stop. Not when the sun dipped low, not when night fell, not when her feet began to bleed. Within days, dozens more joined her. Men, women, even children, pulled from their daily lives by some invisible compulsion. They danced through alleys and markets, flailing, twisting, collapsing, rising again. No music played, but something moved them. This was the dancing plague, a phenomenon so bizarre, so disturbing, that it defies explanation to this day. Historical records describe the outbreak in harrowing detail. The Strasbourg Chronicle of 1519 writes, "There was one woman who, for 6 days and nights, did dance without rest, until she fell, stricken and trembling, upon the stones, and still her feet moved." By the end of July, more than 400 people were reportedly affected. They danced until their bodies failed them. Some suffered heart attacks. Others collapsed from exhaustion. A few died in the streets, their final movements still rhythmic, twitching as if compelled by unseen hands. The authorities were terrified. Strasbourg was a deeply religious city, and fear of divine punishment loomed large. The city council consulted physicians and priests. Physicians blamed hot blood, an imbalance of bodily humors, common belief in medieval medicine. Their cure: more dancing. "Let them sweat the fever from their limbs," one physician reportedly said. And so, they cleared guild halls and grain markets, erected wooden stages, and even hired musicians to play for the afflicted. What followed was not healing, but horror. Modern historians and scientists have spent centuries trying to explain what happened. One theory points to ergot poisoning, a fungus that grows on damp rye, producing a chemical similar to LSD. Symptoms include hallucinations, convulsions, and paranoia. But ergot causes pain, not coordinated dancing. And why would it only affect movement and only in some people? Another theory suggests mass hysteria, what modern psychology calls mass psychogenic illness. Under extreme stress, famine, disease, religious fear, people may have entered a collective trance-like state. But could fear alone make hundreds dance until death? Then there are less accepted ideas, that the dancing was a ritualistic reaction, an echo of long-forgotten pagan rites re-emerging under pressure, or that the afflicted were not ill, but possessed. A priest named Paracelsus, who arrived later in the city, wrote, "Their limbs moved as if by strings, like puppets of flesh with broken souls." He believed it was the work of a natural curse, a judgment brought on by sin. Eventually, the city abandoned the musicians and stages. The afflicted were taken to a shrine high in the Vosges Mountains, dedicated to Saint Vitus, patron saint of dancers and epileptics. There, many finally collapsed into sleep or silence. And just as suddenly as it began, it ended. No final explanation, no clear cure. The records stop, and the city moved on. Over 500 years have passed, and still, the dancing plague of 1518 remains one of the most chilling, unsolved events in human history. A moment when an entire population lost control of their bodies, and perhaps their minds. Was it disease, fear, punishment, possession, or something else? Something older? This is Relict. The past is not dead. It waits, silent, buried, and breathing, for someone to ask the right question.